Welcome back to another episode of the Marketing Quacks podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Dozer, and if you're new to the show, the mission here is to expose the quacks and gimmicks in the marketing industry while featuring some great marketers and entrepreneurs along the way. On this episode, I was excited to have on Vasco Monteiro. Now, Vasco is the founder of Journalist AI. He's an entrepreneur and really an expert in all things AI SaaS. This is a really fun episode, kind of diving into marketing strategies for SaaS tools, AI, and more. So I hope you enjoy. So Vasco, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just do a quick intro on kind of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I guess name's Vasco. I'm from Portugal, not Spain. Some people tend to confuse it. And I just build SaaS businesses. I build software businesses. I had this marketplace, which I sold. Now I'm just focusing on this AI SEO SaaS. So I guess I build software products. That's basically who I am.
AI SaaS is a huge niche right now for sure. What would you say some of your biggest wins are in the SaaS world?
Honestly, if we niche it down to SEO, just the fact that we're using AI, we're just able to speed up so much of the process that used to be done manually. So if you have the basis of SEO and you know how to do SEO, just with any SaaS, not just mine, but with any SaaS that uses AI for SEO, you can just do so much more, so much faster. So it's insane. It's super cool, the results we see. It's super cool, the feedback we get from people. They can do so much more, so much faster. So I guess that's the biggest win so far.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Journalist AI. This is one of your latest SaaS projects, I believe. What was the inspiration for this SaaS tool? And I guess what makes it different than the hundreds of other AI SaaS tools trying to accomplish the same thing?
Yeah, fair question. There's quite a few competitors out there. Well, I guess I've been doing SEO since 2016. Had an agency, did some freelance work, did my own stuff. And so I learned a lot about SEO. And so when I was always building businesses, right? And when this new AI technology came about, I thought, okay, let me build something using this technology. So what do I know? I know SEO, so how can I apply AI to SEO? So that's how the idea came about. And we, of course, iterate based on people's feedback. How it differs from the competitors is basically the whole ecosystem we've built out. So we're not just a writer, right? Most of these people are just AI writers that write this bland AI GPT-like content. And we not only do we allow you to, for example, this might be a bit technical, but we allow you to write in your own brand's tone of voice, using your brand's mannerisms, because you can teach our AI how you speak. We also do link building. We also do social syndication, indexing. So my goal is to try and build a holistic SEO tool, not just a writer, which I think a lot of these people overlook, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Charles Float on the show a while ago, and he's kind of doing a similar thing with Cuppa, if you've dabbled in Cuppa a little bit. So let's talk about what I want to know more specifically, though, is that how is this different than a $20 a month Claude project, a ChatGPT project now that they just rolled out, or even a custom GPT, right? What's the better use case of using like an AI SaaS tool like that versus trying to build something out with custom instructions on a GPT or a project?
Yeah, to be fair, we are implementing that same level of back and forth into our SaaS, but it differs in the way that it has a lot of automations. So let me give you an example. Let's say you give us a competitor URL, right? We extract the keywords. We're able to build out content based on the competition. And then let's say we make a blog post about, should I finance my car, whatever, right? Then automatically we can have the blog post be automatically submitted for indexing, then automatically syndicated to your LinkedIn, to your Facebook, to your Twitter, right? And then we can produce more we can set up an auto blog to produce more blog posts about that same topic, creating this funnel shape. So it's the whole level of automation behind it. Which basically just saves you time. Because, yeah, of course, you can do all this with ChatGPT. It just takes you a bit more time. And our differentiating factor, which is why people use us, is the level of automation and the ecosystem we've built out. But, yeah, it's a very, very fair question, right? Very fair
question. And that makes sense. I see AI agents, obviously that's a huge buzzword right now, but especially next year, I see AI agents being integrated more into this type of AI SaaS. So I guess how do you trying to take away kind of the manual work that still goes into it with building out an article, even setting up the automations, doing the syndication? There's still some manual work involved from the end user. I guess, what are you guys going to do with AI agents as they, become more integrated in the system?
I mean, in the future, if we think how everything's going to pan out, right? An AI agent will do everything, right? It will basically replace humans, and at that point, I'm not sure if if I'll be here, right? Because if they can do anything, right? But so we're just basically building as the customer feedback comes in, right? I know that may sound like super cliche, but the best products are built based on what the customer wants. Again, super cliche, but if a customer wants something more automated, we just see if we can implement it and we do it. So I don't really have an answer as to how we're taking that onward. We're just going as we go, because again, tending to infinity, eventually everything's going to be automated. We'll have chips in our brain. We won't even need to Google stuff. We'll just think about whatever and we'll learn it on the spot. So hard to see what's going to happen in the future.
That's true. Because in my head, I guess the big use case I want is like, let's say I publish a YouTube video. Well, I want that published to trigger an agent to repurpose that automatically to an SEO optimized blog post using my parameters and my guidelines, and then restructure that to an email newsletter in those set of parameters and social media in those set of parameters, right? I want it basically just to trigger that by just me publishing a video versus hiring someone else to do it, or me just go in there and trying to do it all myself, which is what I've been doing in the past, which takes a lot of work, as you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Actually, we should be able to do that like quite easily, because as of now with Journalist AI, you can just take a video URL and we convert the YouTube video, we read through it all and make a blog post out of it. I think we can automate that. I think right now you can like add a YouTube channel link, and periodically you set up an auto blog. So when a video is published, we write a blog post. That blog post can be automatically published to your site and it can be syndicated. So yeah, so I think you can do that already.
Oh, well, yeah, maybe I'll have to look into that a little deeper then. So also too, I want to talk about the AI SaaS market right now. In my opinion, I think it's oversaturated. So, I mean, what are some marketing strategies that you can use to kind of differentiate yourself from everyone else?
Oversaturated. Yeah, I guess so, because it's like a buzzword. So I do agree with you. It's oversaturated, but only like with anything, only a few will win. And how do you differentiate yourself? Well, it's pretty simple. Like with anything, and I've been doing this for a long time. Is just show your face, right? Show who's behind the brand building it. For example, the reason why I'm on here, frankly, and why I do YouTube, right, is to show who's behind the brand, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And so when I make a YouTube video promoting Journalist AI or any other tool, right, they see me, they hear me speak for like 10 minutes. They feel like they know they can like and trust me. So building up sort of a personal brand as a founder and then going out on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube is the single best way to grow any business. I'll give you an example, right? I did a talk on stage in the Philippines a couple months back where I just laid out my SaaS growth strategy, which was create multiple YouTube channels, assign a creator to each YouTube channel, and then make them all pump out content, right? And so you have all these personas, right? Pumping out content, promoting your SaaS. And again, people connect with people, right? People buy from people at the end of the day. So I would say anyone trying to promote any business, just start up your camera and just speak about whatever it is that you're building.
Personal brand's the ultimate leverage, bro. I completely agree with that. Let's talk a little more tactical now, though. Is it more SEO geared? Is it building emails and working through a drip sequence? Talk about some tactical stuff.
Okay, I have a lot to talk about in here. So I guess with YouTube, let's go with YouTube first. With YouTube, there's like 2 or 3 types of videos I produce. The ideal one is evergreen type content, which is how to whatever or what. So for example, I'll give you an example. My previous business, Vet, this SEO marketplace, I had people there selling like Wikipedia page creations, backlinks, content services. And so the way I found to promote each one of those sellers, right, was, okay, let me make tutorials on how to make the services they're selling. For example, this guy on there sold Wikipedia pages. So I made a video on YouTube titled How to Make a Wikipedia Page. 20 minutes long, going over how to make it step by step.
Isn't that one of your most popular ones I saw?
Yeah. Yeah, and at the end I just say, hey, listen, you can do all this manually, or you can just hire this guy on Vet to do it for you. In this video, because it's evergreen, like tutorial-like, if you search for it right now on YouTube, it comes up first, right? And so I do this for every single service. For now, for Journalist AI, we still do this. How to write content with AI, the best AI content writer. So try to make evergreen type of content, which is content that as long as people search for it, it will like get views. Second type of content is like news-based. For example, when ChatGPT comes up with a new model, Google comes up with a new model, just get a video out. They'll get you like thousands of views like in a couple of hours, and some subscribers and some people will stick to watch their other stuff. And then the third type is like more clickbaity stuff, like how I got number 1 page rankings in 2 days, whatever. So, but I guess you could link out to this talk I gave in the Philippines where I go over all this. But I guess that's YouTube. Then email, very important, right? Nurturing people, right? Give people a ton of value, and then build out a nurturing sequence. Like, I think our nurturing sequence is like 60 days. Like we give them emails, like the classic value right hook, right? Give them a course, give them this, then sell them on something. So build out a long email list, always giving value to people with, of course, small calls to action.
What do you use for that, by the way? So I've been using ConvertKit. I've actually like dabbled in a white labeled Go High Level. Like, what do you recommend for that?
I mean, I think there's a bunch of tools. We just use MailerLite. I like it as a marketer founder. My co-founder, developer, doesn't really like it that much because it's hard to segment people. So for example, you want to send out emails to people who bought that need to be different than the people who are like interested in buying. And for example, we have an email sequence to upgrade people from monthly to yearly, and then a different email sequence to upgrade people from the solo plan to the business. So there's all these sequences, and in MailerLite, the backend is quite hard to automate and segment all these people. But yeah.
So from an SEO perspective too, I guess, what's your strategy now with everything shaken up there? We have AI overviews. I mean, there's this December update, I think, that just released too. Like, I don't know, man, there's just so many shakeups in the SEO world. Are you still better off leveraging AI with your brand voice? Or are you better off hiring it out and having original content? Like, what is your stance on SEO right now?
I think it's a mix, right? AI is a tool. If you're an SEO agency right now, you need to be leveraging AI. You can just do so much faster. I'll give you an example, right? In Journalist AI, there's a feature, and again, not trying to promote it, just give you an example. There's a feature where you can upload an article, right? And let's say there's like this paragraph with no links. You can just select the paragraph and say add links. And the AI will read through the whole article, read through the paragraph, and try and find the best places to fill out the anchor text and add a link to other, both internal and external. Now, this saves you so much time, right? You can do it manually or you can do it with AI. So I think anyone with an agency would be better off using and leveraging some AI tools in some way, even if it's just for a brief, like. And I guess to answer your second question, I guess in terms of strategies, tactics, what I'm seeing a lot right now, and I've made a video on Canva's SEO strategy, Vid.io's SEO strategy, which is basically building out these free tools. So for example, Vid.io is this, it's like CapCut, it's this platform where you can, it's basically an online video editor. Right, and what they did was they have, if you go to vid.io/tools, there's a bunch of these free tools like add subtitles to video, remove audio, right, all this. These are like free tools with dedicated pages that rank very well for these SEO terms like add subtitles, whatever. And this is how they get people in, not necessarily through a blog. They do also get traffic through the blog, but they get in a lot of traffic and qualified traffic to these free tool pages. Because like something that I always harp on is traffic is a vanity metric. What matters the most is the intent behind the keyword people are searching for, right? For example, a competitor of ours has a shit ton of traffic, but most of the traffic comes from low buying intent keywords. And so if you're doing SEO, you're better off going for high buying intent keywords, and usually high buying intent keywords, right? Free tools, free guides, that type of content.
Yeah, and that makes sense too. And I was going to talk about that in my gimmicks portion here of this episode, but I see this all the time, especially on YouTube with clickbait. People, I'm not going to name names, but you might know who I'm talking about. But people always say like rank 1 overnight, get 1,000 AI bots, and they have these like skulls and machines on their fucking thumbnails. And I'm just like, yeah, but the gimmick here is that let's say you do rank 1. I could rank 1 for some random keyword that has no search intent, no buyer's intent. So the idea of just ranking 1 to rank 1, I think that's such a gimmick in my opinion, and people fall for it.
Absolutely, yeah, it's insane. And then let's say you rank first for this high buying intent keyword, a blog post, right? But then on top of that, you need to have calls to action in the blog, like a section at the bottom.
Yeah,
like
good UX, good CRO.
Yeah, good UX, exactly, yeah. And so there's a lot of nuance to all this.
Yeah, for sure. And they like to make it sound so easy to sell a course and, sell their product and all this stuff too. But I want to talk about content creation still. So with AI coming out, we saw Google come out with VO. I don't know if you saw that, and Imogen and their big updates lately. Where do you see this all going with, content creation and where we can use AI to supplement things and kind of balancing the human touch? I guess, where do you see AI and content creation going forward?
Like I said, in the very far future, we'll all have chips in our heads. So I guess none of this will matter, but in the short to medium term, I still think there's going to be a need for human-like content, and people will adapt, right? Because, for example, years back when Google when you searched for how tall is the Eiffel Tower, previously there was a bunch of blog posts. Now just Google gives you a featured snippet, right? Because it's simple info. I think these AI snippets and whatever will, of course, take a lot of search traffic from these sites, but people will just adapt and build out, again, free tools, for example. People will have to adapt to build out these different things. I guess I kind of lost my train of thought in your question, but
No, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think that was a dying SEO strategy to begin with, with all these informational queries, like the trip advisors of the world, 10 best things to do in New York City. You know, AI overviews is just going to eat that up for sure. And like the AdSense model, like, and that's what people get into this when they first start. Like, I'm going to go for ad revenue. I'm going to go for AdSense. And it's like, that's the worst idea that you could possibly do.
yeah. That being said, though, I do think it's a valuable SEO strategy to maybe build out content like that to link out to other content of yours, so you become like
for topical authority purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to talk about AI a little bit now, Vasco. So tell me how you're using AI internally, I guess, for your operations. Kind of share your AI tool stack.
We use, I guess, for meetings like this one, we use I think it's called Author AI to like summarize the meetings. I think we changed it because we speak in Portuguese and they don't really pick up Portuguese, but we use some like AI meeting notes taker. What else? I use ChatGPT on the daily.
You a pro or plus user?
Pro. I think is it plus the new $200 one?
Pro's the $200 one.
Oh, so I'm a plus then. I haven't found it that the money is there. You know, do you think it's worth it? Or?
I don't know, man. Unless you're doing like development stuff, coding, and you're using Sora every single day, maybe I could justify it that way. But I'm still on the plus one too for $20.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So our developer guy, my friend, actually uses Cursor AI.
Oh yeah.
For code. And now we're testing out this really cool tool that basically reads through all your code and finds bugs, which is super nice. And so, I mean, as you know, right, AI is just like a tool, like a hammer. You can like put a painting on a wall with your hand, or you can just use a hammer, right? AI is the hammer. It's just you do the same thing, just so much faster. So note taking, research, right, coding. I don't have the tools off the top of my brain, but yeah.
ChatGPT or Claude? Which one do you prefer?
ChatGPT.
Yeah, and why is that?
I guess I'm into the ecosystem already. I have the app. I have like, I'm in. I started first, so I haven't moved yet to Claude.
And Gemini just came out with a big update too. They had 2.0. That's a big one. I've never liked Google Gemini, and I've always been a fan of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. That's kind of their latest model. I've liked the output. Sounds more empathetic, realistic. But I agree with you. I think ChatGPT, the recent updates that they came out with projects, now Sora's in the mix, I think they're ahead. Google and OpenAI are kind of leading the race by far now, especially in these past few weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see who wins. I guess just like back in the day, Google versus Bing, right? Who will win this race? It's going to be fun.
And it's interesting too, because we had, Meta's always been in the mix with Llama and Movie Gen. Microsoft was an early player kind of towards the beginning. And there's been Anthropic with Claude. I mean, they're kind of falling off a little bit now. So yeah, it's really a race between OpenAI and Google, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I think eventually like Google's going to buy out all the others, or OpenAI is going to buy out all the others. Eventually, like one or two are going to remain. Yeah.
I think HubSpot is a force to be reckoned with too, with their AI agent marketplace and how they're going to integrate stuff. Yeah, I think HubSpot's going to be one to put some respect on here pretty soon too. But I also want to talk about, so let's talk about some AI trends in 2025, Vasco, excuse me. So with everything happening lately, with these updates from OpenAI, from Google, and every other AI company, what are the big trends that you see in 2025?
Then it's hard. It's hard to answer that question because I'm so into the business day to day that I'm just so like this. So
I get it.
Purposely not like looking. I've been just boom. So it's hard. Man, I guess I'll give you an answer on what I've been using AI for the most, which is ChatGPT's app, just speaking with it. Like, for example, a couple of weeks back, I was in Rome. I was at the Colosseum. I just put my headphones and say, hey, listen, give me like a 30-minute story about the Colosseum. And as I was walking, he was explaining to me stuff, and I was like, hey, but wait, how do they put like water here? So I was like speaking with him like back and forth. And I think more back and forthness will be I guess, the future for this. Yeah, it's hard for me to answer the question, honestly, because I've been just too focused and too dialed in, not looking at what's happening.
Dude, I get that. Shiny object syndrome is contagious for sure. But I agree with you. That advanced voice mode is a really big update, in my opinion. I'll be in the car kind of chatting with ChatGPT at some point. If I just have an idea and I don't want to lose it, I'm sure this happens to you a lot too. Like you have this like light bulb idea somewhere and you just lose it because you didn't write it down or talk to someone about it. So I actually use it a lot for that when I'm just kind of spitballing business ideas at it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love it. And let's say, for example, you want to buy something or you want to like see if you can afford to lease a car. You say, hey, listen, I have this much saved up. What do you think? Right? You just like a real person that never gets tired of listening to your question.
And the real-time language translation, I think, is a big deal.
Yeah. I can speak in Portuguese, English. It's super nice.
So I want to talk about marketing quacks now, Vasco. This is the Marketing Quacks podcast after all. If there were some marketing gimmicks or tricks that you see, whether it's in the SaaS world, it's on YouTube with clickbait stuff, what would the biggest gimmicks for you be and why?
I guess on YouTube, it's pretty straightforward. Straightforward. Yeah, it's just when you make a video, like don't say, "Hey, welcome. This is my channel. My name is Vasco." Today I'm gonna no, just say, "Hey, here's what you."
The hook, bro.
Yeah, the hook. Because you can have the best video ever, but if nobody like watches all the way through, it's quite pointless. And also thumbnails, because the same thing. If nobody clicks on them, I guess that's the gimmick there. More marketing gimmicks. That's hard.
There's a lot of them out there, man.
Yeah, I guess one issue we had was tracking. So it's quite hard to track organic sales. So add UTM, so add like tracking UTM links everywhere. We use a software tool called PostHog, which basically allows us to, when someone goes to journalist AIs, we can see all their journey. They clicked here, they went here, where did they come from? And so because a lot of our marketing comes from organic, and if people are doing like organic marketing, being able to know which videos they come from, where did they click, where did they not click, will allow you to like improve their product very much.
Yeah, so for me on YouTube, I guess what I mean by marketing quack or gimmick is like there are people in the AI space and SEO space for sure, where it's like the clickbait thumbnail, clickbait title, right? Rank 1 overnight. Oh my God, right? And then you click it and it's 20 minutes of them just talking about something that's not even revolutionary. It's like some basic thing that they're just talking about for 15 minutes. Click the link in my bio, work through my email sequence. Here's my course, right? That's the biggest gimmick to me.
Gotcha. I guess I'm a bit guilty of that too as well, because
you all got to play the game to some extent, but there's like certain creators where it's like every single video there's like zero value and it's just trying to drive in people who know absolutely nothing about marketing,
and it works every single time.
And somehow they're an authority now, right? And they go speak at all these things and and I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess that's for me and you that understand the game. Like there's a lot of people that don't understand SEO, which I think could be somewhat valuable to them. I don't know. I mean, it's working, so yeah. But I guess, in terms of YouTube, super clickbaity, like outrageous stuff. Like even like ask ChatGPT, hey, listen, I have this video idea about XYZ. What's the most outrageous title I could possibly title this YouTube video? I guess so outrageous stuff. We always get clicks, right?
Yeah, I mean, ideation, I think, is the very first place a lot of people should start with AI in the first place and strategy. But Vasco, this has been fun. I don't want to waste any more of your time here. So any final notes that kind of we discussed on this episode about AI, SaaS, marketing, just everything that we talked about?
I guess if you're not using AI, just make sure you do, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind, whether that's for SEO or for work or for anything, right? Even to stimulate your brain, even like, for example, having just conversations with your phone, just use AI. And if you guys want to get journalist AIs, you can use a coupon code. Let's say, what should we title the coupon code?
I don't know. I got a coupon code, but I'll leave all that in the show notes below and video description.
And I guess that's it, man. Just enjoy life, make money, and that's basically it. I don't have much.
I love it, man. So where can people find you online to learn more?
I'm on YouTube. If you search for Vasco Monteiro on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel that talks about SaaS. So any like strategy I come up with, I think we even share revenue numbers there. So if you're interested about software and how we're doing stuff, we're just super transparent about everything. I'm on Twitter as well at VascoABM. That's basically it.
Perfect. I'll leave all those links in the description below. Well, Vasco, thank you so much again for your time. And thank you to everyone for listening to this episode of the Marketing Quacks podcast. Be sure to tune in again next time.